Well, hello there, ladies and gents. I'm Tammy Sapnewski, and thank you so much for popping by my channel for another LumaFusion tutorial. Okay, so this one is going to be on glitch effect number 2. So this is a very simple RGB effect that we can do in LumaFusion, and it takes just a few minutes. So let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Okay, the first thing I want to do is just dump out my audio and pick a place where we want the RGB effect to begin. And I want it to be right about here where she's lifting the paddle out of the water. So what we want to do is expand out the timeline, because in the RGB effect we need very, very small cuts, literally frame by frame. So this is where we're going to make our first cut. We're just going to push it up 1 frame, second cut, frame by frame. Obviously, if you want to do 2 frames, you can do that as well, but we're just doing frame by frame. And it all depends on how long you want this particular effect to last. That's how many cuts you'd want to make. Looks like a whole lot of cuts, but remember I zoomed in on that timeline. So actually, let's see, it starts at about 13 seconds and ends at not even 13.5 seconds. So let's go ahead and maybe just make it half a second. Okay, now what we want to do, and this is very tedious, I know, but if you just put the work in, it goes by fast. You just begin to clone all of these different clips. You highlight the clip and you hit the plus. Highlight the clip and you hit the plus sign. Okay, so now what I want to do is go to the properties. Sometimes, you know, these things are so small that it's hard to double tap on them. And I find it's easiest to double tap on the one that's not on this bar right here. Just double tap on it and that'll bring you to the properties window. So the first thing that we want to do is go to color and effects. And now we're going to go to original and let's pick out red. Go to frame and fit. Now we're just going to expand this a little bit. Go down to blending and we just want to pull this blend down to about around the 50% mark. So now what I want to do is go to this clipboard and just hit copy. So now we're going to every other frame and we're just going to hit paste. You can always expand it out even more if you find you're just having a little bit of trouble grabbing it. It's easier for me because I have this pencil. Sometimes if you're using your fingers, it can be a little more difficult. Okay, so now let's go to the second frame here. So now you have to make a decision with your colors and effects. Are you going to do blue or are you going to do green? I want to go ahead and do the green. So let's go down and let's grab green. Okay. Frame and fit again. We can make this really big to exaggerate the look of it. Go to blending, pull it down, once again about 50%. That looks good. Once again, we're going to go to the clipboard and hit copy. Back out of this. Now we're going to go ahead to every other frame again and hit paste. Sometimes that'll happen. It's okay. So let's go ahead and have a look-see at our RGB clip. I'm just going to shrink it a little bit. Got it one more time. That looks pretty funky, and we can always dial in the intensity of these different layers, of course, or what we can do is add a strobe effect. So if we want to add a strobe effect, we would just need to delete solid blocks out of this timeline. Now, if we just took one and dumped it, that would compress the timeline. So in order to have a blank space in the screen for a strobe effect, what we need to do is unlock our timeline. And you can do that by coming over here. You see this little white arrow that's pointing right? When you click on that, that's going to make that arrow point down and be yellow. There's going to be a little bit of a purplish hue underneath your timeline. So this is going to allow you to delete these little clips right here. So let's go ahead and delete every other clip. Not every other one, but every second one. That's going to give us a strobe effect. So let's check that out. Pretty cool. And that's basically it. That is how simple it is to do an RGB glitch effect in LumaFusion. However, we can also go back, don't forget, we can do a titles option in here as well. Grab a title and just throw it right there. Double click on that. Throw the title in the garbage, hit a plus sign there, and we're going to choose shape. Now we're going to choose lines, and we can just randomly begin to throw lines on here, and that's going to add to the really authentic looking feature of a true glitch effect. Just put them anywhere. There should be no rhyme or reason to the lines, because that would be the look of a true glitch effect. Okay, that looks good. Let's go ahead and look it again. And we can also, of course, chop up the lines as well. And randomly just pick some of these to throw away. Maybe make another cut right here. Ooh. Let's see how this looks. Okay, I think that looks really good. And that's it, guys. That's how easy and simple it is to do the RGB glitch effect in LumaFusion. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you found this helpful. If you have any requests for future videos, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will try to get to them just as soon as I can. And until next time, wear your sunblock, please.